Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a special episode of Top Rope Takes. Yes, we are here, and we are just a couple days away from Crown Jewel 2024 in Saudi Arabia. And the question on everybody's mind: who is going to be the first ever Crown Jewel champions? You can't wait. I can't wait. I'm chomping at the bit to find out, and we're going to give our official predictions right now. Will, thank you so much for being here. I know you are just as excited as I am to figure out who's going to win these titles, these white glove titles that nobody's touched on television. But they're there every week, guys. They are there just in case we're wondering. It might be the same cut of footage. I haven't inspected it that closely. But either way, we're here to give our official predictions. Will, how you doing?
Doing great. And I actually, all jokes aside, I am pretty excited for this show. I think they got a pretty nice card
It's a good show.
uh showing up. I'm interested to see what they do with the Bloodline stuff. Obviously, we got
Mm.
these Crown Jewel championships, which maybe have more interesting implications than we're led on to believe. So we'll see.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
want to dive into that further, or do you want to wait?
We'll wait.
Okay.
Because I really only think it matters for one match and not the other, but
Copy. Okay. So let's get right into it. So let's start with probably one of the lower matches on the card here. And it's unfortunate, but it is true. Let's start with the fatal four-way tag match for the women's tag titles. We have the defending champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, defending against Damage Control, Kairi Sane and Neo Sky, against the team of Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, versus the recent NXT call up team of Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. All eight of these ladies have kind of been intertwined on television over the last couple of weeks. They're getting the big fatal four-way match here at the PLE Crown Jewel. Will, what are your thoughts, and who is walking out of Saudi with the titles?
Well, the thing about like a fatal four-way match is you never know who could
You never
walk out
know.
with the tag team championships. But I do think Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are going to retain. None of these teams stick out to me as
Mhm.
potential winners for the tag team championships. Maybe Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, because Chelsea Green would be awesome with any championship.
Mhm.
Very big fan of Chelsea Green, but ultimately, I think it's Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill's match to lose. So I'm going to go with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
Okay, so now I am looking at this with a where does it whatever happens in this match, it's got to set up for the next thing, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Bianca and Jade winning does nothing. I think it kind of leaves them in a similar situation to where who's next. So I actually have a different team winning. I have Damage Control winning the tag titles here in Saudi, but not pinning Jade and Bianca. And then I think that in itself will then create your story for the next couple month or two, chasing the tag team titles. I would love to see Chelsea Green win it. I think just for a I think she's earned it. Um, and I actually don't think that's off the table. I don't think it's a ludicrous thought. I really think there's a shot that they give it to them and they make the titles entertaining. Um, but I think Damage Control is too good in the ring. I think it would create the next level of story and give Bianca and Jade's next program. So my official prediction is Damage Control, but I would be happy with a Chelsea Green win.
Okay, that's interesting. Where do you think that leaves Damage Control though with the titles? Like, what do you expect for their tag team title run?
Well, I think they're defended against Bianca and Jade.
And then what happens?
You go up against Jakar and Lash, just run the gamut.
See, that's where I think that kind of like I can't see the other three winning because I just
Mm,
think immediately if you give it to any of the other three tag teams, like the division falls off a cliff.
yeah.
Like having it on Bianca and Jade makes it seem like the tag titles are huge, which
Mm-hmm.
makes me think that if they lose the tag title, it's going to be to another big tag team. Like potentially, I have two names that stick out to me are either I thought it was going to be like Tiffany and Nia, but I think they
Ooh.
might, do something
Mm-hmm.
on this show that breaks them up, or Liv and Raquel.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I don't think it's any of these three teams. I think they have plenty of time to get the titles off them and break them up. So that's why I'm picking Bianca Jade. And to the point where it's like, what do they do with them? Well, then why did they win them back in the first place? Like,
Right.
if you didn't think they were going to be tag champs forever, or not tag champs forever, but like if you didn't think they were going to be good tag champs, then why did they put the belts back on them in the
Yeah.
first place? Like, I feel like if they're going to have the belts back on them, then it's to give them give them to a team then after to
Right.
dethrone them and make
Yeah.
them seem like strong champions. I think the only reason why they had that first loss in the first place was just so that they could get that hometown win to kind of
Hmm.
counteract the Drew stuff on at Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
They got the titles back immediately, and now I think if they're going to lose it again, it has to be very story driven and to a team that can represent the tag titles well.
Yeah. Speaking of which, where the hell did Isla and where did they go?
Exactly. That's it. Yeah. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm going to stick with my prediction. I think Damage Control is deserving of a win. So we'll see what happens. But we one match in, and me and Will are already different, which is a good sign. Which is a good sign. All right. Next up, we have the triple threat match for the United States Championship. We got this officially solidified on SmackDown this past week. L.A. Knight, yeah, defending the United States Championship against Carmelo Hayes and Andrade. Andrade and Carmelo have been having their best of seven series, and in Game 7, we got no definitive winner, which was silly. I did not like that. LA Knight is he losing it for you? Because he's kind of coming off as a heel more than anything else. But either way, it's going to be a great match. I am officially going to take LA Knight to retain though in a big
Okay. I think it would be interesting if LA Knight became a heel out of this just
match.
because he's like consistently gets great reactions.
Mm-hmm.
Is usually like a top face guy. I think that's a guy you could just reliably have as a face doing the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Carmelo Hayes. Just not for any logical reason. I just think it would be fun to have Carmelo Hayes win a title. You got Braun Breaker winning the Intercontinental Championship this year. And now you have
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes as the United States champion. I think
Mm-hmm.
that would just be a cool little thing that they could do.
Okay.
So that's my only reason. No,
And
this storyline hasn't really captured me as much. So I
no.
think to make it intriguing would
Mm-hmm.
have LA Knight losing to
Mm-hmm.
either one of these guys. And I don't think Andrade would make for an interesting champion.
Yeah.
So
So for those keeping score at home, I have LA Knight retaining. Will has Carmelo Hayes winning the United States Championship, and we both have Andrade going back to AEW in 6 months.
I have Andrade going back to CMLL or something.
Yeah.
I don't even know, AAA. I mean,
Yeah.
this guy could go wherever, but
He's
who
just
knows?
chomping. He's just waiting for Charlotte Flair to return to TV. So he has something interesting to do.
There you go.
Alrighty. After this, we have Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Grudge match. I mean, listen, I think, listen, I have to give a prediction here. I think Kevin Owens is going to win. I mean, I don't know how. I don't know if it's necessarily clean, like a clean win over Randy, but Kevin Owens is the focal point of the SmackDown story. Him losing to Randy Orton, I think, would be horrible. But at the same time, I think Randy Orton's got some bigger, better stuff coming up too. So I have no idea what the finish of this match is going to be and how both of these guys can come out looking strong. But I do think at the end of the day, it's going to be Kevin Owens getting the win.
I don't think there's anything you could do to Randy Orton at this point that would make him look weak. Whereas Kevin Owens just had this big character change, he has to win this match.
Yeah.
Like I'm right there with you, where I think it would be abysmal if Randy Orton beat Kevin Owens after this whole change of heart. So I do think after this is all wrapped up, this could be even the angle for Survivor Series, where it's Cody and Kevin Owens, but with this new Kevin Owens in the championship. Whereas Randy Orton, I think, still has to do like a Kevin Owens style character change before he goes after Cody.
Yeah.
So I'm totally going Kevin Owens on this one. I really think he should win, and I hope he does it honestly in a dominant fashion.
Okay.
And really like establish that prize fighter Kevin Owens that popped on the scene in NXT and obliterated Sami Zayn to win the title. Like I want to see that Kevin Owens back and really make me think, wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
They could like have Cody not win and have Kevin Owens take the title. And I think you could easily do a great storyline, as we mentioned on yesterday's podcast, with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and maybe even
Mhm.
with higher stakes, having the WWE Championship on the line.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
would
I
be an
listen.
interesting little angle there. And the only way for me to even believe that Kevin Owens has a chance is if he wins this match against Randy Orton going
Right.
into that match with Cody.
Yeah, I agree. My only thing with like the Cody Kevin Owens stuff is we did just see it clash at the castle. It's a little
Uh,
bit of a
Bash
character
and Berlin.
change, but Bash Berlin. Yeah, excuse me. Sorry. Um, but yeah, I don't. I think that's what the story dictates. So we are both in agreement. Kevin Owens is going to win. I'm most interested in the actual finish, but the result I'm very confident.
I will say I am interested in that second match. I don't think it would be the same as the Bash and Berlin match because Kevin Owens in that match was conflicted. I think it would be really cool to see in the rematch the
Mm,
contrast of Kevin Owens where he's
yeah,
not conflicted anymore. He will go all out in order to win this championship and take it off Cody because in his mind, he's been an irresponsible champion, teaming up with the Bloodline and making amends with Roman Reigns
yeah.
to go up against this new Bloodline.
Another match that we have is a match that we've been waiting a couple months for, actually, at this point. It is Seth freaking Rollins and his return to PLEs against the big Bronson Reed. This match is going to be violent. It's going to be violent, Will, and I'm very excited about it because, I think Bronson needs a win. Is he going to get it, though? I don't know. As much as I hate to say it, I am going with Seth Rollins. I think sometimes there are certain performers that, like Cena, like Super Cena in '07, or, I mean, that's the first one that comes to mind, but like Randy Orton, I feel like sometimes is always like a lock, even though we're just predicting he's going to lose in his prime. Like, even if like there are certain other performers who need it more, Seth Rollins is a star. Seth Rollins is a top guy in this company. I think he's going to get the win.
Yeah, this match because there's a lot of matches on this card that are tough to predict. Like they really
Mm-hmm.
could go either way, which is kind of why I am excited for this
Yes.
Crown Jewel show. Is because a good show has matches where you really don't know which way they're going. Um, but this one's the toughest to predict
Mm,
in my heart because
mm,
in my heart I really want Bronson Reed to win. I
yeah.
really think it would really slow down some momentum if Seth Rollins just beats Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
But while in my heart I want Bronson Reed to win, I think I have to agree with you. And I just feel like WWE is going to give this to Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And I really want to say Bronson Reed. And I really hope it's Bronson Reed, but I just don't have that faith in WWE. I think they want Seth to look strong going into his feud with Punk. And I feel
Yeah.
like he doesn't do that without winning this match against Bronson Reed.
Yeah. And maybe they can rehabilitate Bronson Reed after the fact and give him like something to do, but uh, yeah, it's hard to bet against one of the top guys in the company. So for that
I'm hoping,
reason,
though. I'm hoping.
yeah, yeah. But we are both in agreement. We think Seth Rollins is going to walk out victorious. Up next, it is the match for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. We have the WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax going up against the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. Um, hmm. Talk about hard to predict, Will. Who knows which way this is going to end? I think on paper, because Nia Jax is just completely towering over Liv Morgan, I think it would be easy to say that Nia is going to obliterate her or annihilate her, if you will. But because this is pro wrestling, I'm going to go with the not obvious pick. And I'm going to go with Liv Morgan wins this.
Okay. And obviously, with Raquel Rodriguez by
Yeah.
her side, there's always shenanigans at play. I'm going to go bold and I'm going to say Tiffany Stratton cashes in the money in the bank and wins both whatever championship, probably Nia Jax's championship,
Mm-hmm.
and the Crown Jewel championship at the same time.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I don't even know if that's legal, but
I don't know that's how it happens. I don't know what it causes. The only other thing I could see is if Nia wins, but Liv and Raquel beat her up, and then that
mm-hmm.
allows for Tiffany Stratton to cash in on Nia.
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh man, because they could. I think it's gonna be tough to predict which championship she could because I could also see her cashing in on Liv, and then
Right.
because Raw really needs stars, and
Yeah.
I think you could kind of then separate the Riv and Leah, Rhea and Liv
Mm.
stuff from the championship, and then
Mm.
have Tiffany go on a separate run on Raw, and
Yeah.
then you add a little substance there, and then they're gonna build have Raw and SmackDown crossover anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's fair if Tiffany wins. I think they really. I'm fine with them doing this for now, but like going into the new year, I hope they define each brand again because I feel
Hmm.
like it's kind of getting watery with the bloodline stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think either way, I think Tiffany's going to cash in and then win a championship. And hopefully that means she could also walk out the Crown Jewel Championship because I think it'd be such a cool visual
Yeah.
and maybe make this whole Crown Jewel thing make more sense if Tiffany, who walked into this without a championship, walks out with one of the championships as well as the Crown Jewel Championship. I think it would just be great heat for her.
No, I agree completely. I almost see a universe in my head of it playing out where she walks out with Liv's championship, like she tries to go. It kind of like I think they kind of already done this angle, so maybe they wouldn't do it again. But it looks like she's gonna go for Naya, and then she kind of like calls an audible and like goes for the other person. Um, so either way, I agree with you that the closing visual of this segment is going to be Tiffany Stratton with a championship. But as
Yeah. And
far as yeah,
I would love if she did beat Liv Morgan. And then going back to an earlier match that we predicted, if Nia and Tiffany, now with both world championships, go after the tag titles and win those,
mhm,
that sets up that breakup. And then you get the visual of Nia and Tiffany with the tag championships, the women's world championships, and the Crown Jewel championship. Like they're just gonna be draped in gold. I can
yeah,
see. I mean, something's really cool about that. It's very WWE 2K esque, but
yes.
I think it's a fun visual to imagine.
Yeah, yeah. So officially, I am going with Liv Morgan of the two, but I do think that Tiffany Stratton will be the star of the show. All right. Next, we have for the men's Crown Jewel Championship, we have the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes versus the World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General Gunther. And man, love me some Gunther, and it's going to be a great match. And I don't. If this is either going to open or close the show. I think maybe. What do you think? Open or
I
close?
think Bloodline's closing.
Yes, you think this is
If there's
opening?
anything I've learned on the
Yeah.
show, Bloodline closes the show.
Well, it's also the last one I've saved, so we tend to. I guess I tend to agree with you as well.
Yeah.
Um, Cody and Gunther. I think Gunther's winning.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Gunther's win. I think Gunther needs to win it more than
Mm,
Cody does. I think it actually tells a better story if Cody loses, and then you also have Kevin Owens winning on the same show going into their matchup. And I think Gunther needs to look strong, especially if he goes up against a Punk, Goldberg, or maybe a Drew or Damian Priest down the line as well. I think it just adds to Gunther's character if he has this Crown Jewel championship. He also won King of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. Maybe he could become like
mm,
this sort of,
yeah.
Undertaker-esque figure at Saudi Arabia where he
Yeah.
just only wins at Saudi Arabia. I think it'd be a cool little thing for him. So yeah,
Ah,
give me Gunther.
I may actually, dude, I might have just had a change of heart. I
Why
may have,
you really okay? You
I
think
may,
Goldberg's gonna cost him or
I think he
something?
might. I just thought about that. I think that might be the direction we're headed here. Goldberg, spear, ref bump, spear, jackhammer, crossroads. Cody wins. I mean, Gunther doesn't lose a lot. It wouldn't hurt him. It would
Right.
build.
Obviously, in that case, it wouldn't hurt him at all, and it would set up the match quite perfectly. And I do think that's more likely than our prediction yesterday, where we said Dominic was going to come out
Yeah,
and Goldberg was going to challenge, or he was
yeah.
going to challenge Goldberg on the spot. So, either way, I don't know how Goldberg gets to that World Heavyweight Championship spot. I just think doing the Dom thing helps nip the whole number one contenders match in the bud. So it's not
Mm,
like a looming thing
yeah.
outside of the Goldberg Gunther thing. But either way you do it, I think it's going to be Goldberg Gunther at Survivor Series. And you
Mm,
have Cody, uh, uh, in that case, yeah, Cody would win, but I'm still going to go with Gunther. I think, and just if it does end up playing out as a straight match, I think Gunther's win.
yeah. I'm changing my decision officially. Sound the alarm. I am
Okay,
going with Cody Rhodes to win this
there you go.
with the alley oop from Goldberg. All right, and that leaves one more match in our crown jewel predictions. We have the Bloodline, the OG Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and maybe somebody else versus Solo's Bloodline. When, to be honest, we don't know who's in this match. Same, very similar to the Money in the Bank from this summer, where they advertised it as like a like a 6-man tag, but they never said who the three people were. Um, I don't know if all four of these guys are in it. Solo, Jacob, Tangaloa, Tamatonga. I don't know if it's four of them. Are we getting a fourth? The Sami Zayn becoming the official fourth member. I don't know what exactly is in this match, but I think no matter what, the side Roman Reigns is on is the side
Yeah, I think it will be a 3-on-3 match. Let's make that clear. I don't think it'll be like a handicap situation, but
winning.
I do think ultimately the Sami Zayn thing wasn't for nothing.
Mm,
He's going to come out and help the OG Bloodline take down the new Bloodline,
mm,
and that will then lead into the Survivor Series match. I could also just see the OG Bloodline winning straight up, and then that's the catalyst for The Rock to appear
yeah.
and challenge them to a War Games match. Yeah, I know. Like, where has The Rock been? Where what
Not
like
only,
he
not only where has he been, has it been addressed? Has nobody talked about he just showed up at the end of Bad Blood?
Yeah, well, he showed up at the end of Bad Blood, and yeah, you're right. On screen, like they kind of haven't brought that up as far as like the characters haven't.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of questions to be had. Do we get that
What was the point?
answer through like when does The Rock ultimately come back? Does he not even announce his appearance at Survivor Series and then turns up for the new Bloodline?
I
I mean,
mean,
who there's so many different ways you can go with The Rock stuff. I'm curious to see if he's a part of the build to Survivor Series or if he just shows up at Survivor Series. But that might be getting ahead of ourselves. As far as Crown Jewel, I do think you have to make this new Roman and Usos team look like, a big threat, I guess.
yeah,
And it just makes sense. Like I feel like they've had Roman look strong since
yeah,
his return. So I could see Roman and the Usos beating the Bloodline. I could also see a world, which I've been wanting them to do, is Jacob Fatu pinning Roman Reigns
mm,
if they do want to go the other way and make the new bloodline look strong, because I kind of predicted on the last show that the new bloodline would win because I thought they needed that bolster. But
yeah.
with Jimmy Uso appearing, that kind of, threw a wrench in that whole thing. I'm curious to see if, or like, oh man, now I'm really conflicted because now I'm talking myself almost into the new bloodline winning because
Mm,
I do think they need that like strong appearance that then requires Roman and the Usos to
yeah,
bolster their ranks to try to take down this new bloodline. I just think if you have them lose, then you're already starting dissension in this newly reunited new OG bloodline.
yeah.
So damn, come back to me. You give your pick because I'm torn. I was gonna go Roman and the Usos, and now I'm torn.
I'm gonna stick with my decision. I think Roman Reigns has lost twice in 4 years. He ain't losing. I am taking the Roman side. He very much like our Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed. There's what should happen and what WWE is going to have happen. They'll figure it out later. I think the whatever side the Roman Reigns is on is the side you bet. It's like betting against Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl. It's freaking Roman Reigns, man. Like he's going to win. So that's my official prediction.
All right, and you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. It is the main event. I think you want to send the Saudi people home
Mm.
happy. You definitely don't want to get them riled up. So I think you have Roman. That's not, yeah. Don't take that.
Got me.
Don't send that to anyone. But like, Roman Reigns and the Usos, I think we'll walk out of here. I would say the same thing about a New York crowd. Okay, but Roman Reigns and the Usos end up with the win. I'll lock it in.
Yes. Lock it in. And there you have it. We have our official predictions for Crown Jewel 2024. That, of course, will be this Saturday at 1 Eastern. Should be a very good show. I'm very excited to watch it. Will, any final thoughts?
Should be a great show. Looking forward to it. It's weird though. I'm almost like looking forward to the ECW NXT show a little more.
Oh,
Is that
interesting.
weird? Just because I just want to see the visual of it. We've been
Yeah.
in Saudi Arabia multiple times. We haven't been to the ECW arena for a while. So I'm
Yeah.
more so looking forward to that show. But I think this show is actually going to be probably their best show since SummerSlam. Because I
Oh,
feel like they've
hot
had a
take.
couple weaker shows as far as Bash in Berlin and Bad
Yeah.
Blood. I didn't feel like as strongly about those shows as I did about SummerSlam. So
No.
I think Crown Jewel will be kind of get things back into swing for Survivor Series.
Interesting. I mean, I'm excited for the NXT show too, but I want to see all the spectacle, and we have a lot of stuff that we're not 100% sure what's going to happen on this show. So for that reason, I'm excited.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's going to do it for our predictions episode. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back, of course, next week for our main show where we will talk about the fallout to Crown Jewel, the fallout from Monday Night Raw, fallout from NXT at the Philadelphia Arena. And if there's anything on AEW television to talk about, we will be talking about it as well. For now, thank you so much for watching and take care, everybody. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.